Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here for another edition of Challenge Accepted. This week, Shannon Allor and I are doing Scrap Squad's challenge. I forget which scrap lift it is, but this is the lift. I think it's 18. It was posted last Friday, and if you're not participating in Scrap Squad's lifts, you're missing a lot of fun. It's really great. Every Friday they post a new lift. There's an album with the lift as the title picture and an example from one of the really talented ladies involved there, and it's just great. They're having a 12 days of Christmas lift for the first 12 days of the month of December. There are events and celebrations and things around, but it's just lots of fun, and it's great to see all the different interpretations of a Pinterest lift. So, this is the lift. It's obviously branding strips and other strips of miscellaneous pattern papers. There's some mixed media, which I'm not going to do on mine unless I decide that it could benefit from some splatters. I've got Heidi Swap Gold, and I've got Tinsel, which is a kind of a dark metallic charcoal gray. What I like about this is there's some stitching every once in a while. I stitched some of my strips. I literally grabbed a handful of strips, made sure there were some Halloween papers in there because this is a Halloween photo where my granddaughter is dressed in her brother's football uniform, and she's rubbed the black stuff under her eyes and has what she considers to be a football expression on her face. And her brother is wearing her cheerleading uniform. This was taken a few years back, and I'm sure they'll die when they find out that I've scrapped it and put it online. But, you do it, it gets scrapped around here. So I'm going to put that aside. I wanted this page to have more of the flavor of this page, which is just random embellishment clusters and words and flowers tucking out from behind the strips. And I like how some of the strips had words. I decided I could do something like that. These are the strips that didn't make the cut, so I'm going to put those to the side. I have already glued these strips down. I've come up with a title called Once Upon a Halloween, and I managed to piece together the words and figured out the spacing, and I know that I can put it on this relatively less busy strip of paper on mine. And I wanted to use this purple polka dot, but I only had a short piece. So I cut it in half, and I figure I can do that and kind of cover some stuff up. I'm only using one photo. I used some various mats that made no sense other than they were in my scrap pile. I found some photo corners in a Halloween, an old kind of vintagey Halloween set. This is some My Mind's Eye paper from 2011. This kind of ornate frame, and it kind of has a gothic Halloween sort of look, and I had already used one part of it, so it was already cut off. Same with this black and white one, and I thought it had a nice contrast with that, so decided to use it. And since we're going with all these different patterns and colors, I figured I could get away with it. Okay, so one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the ends so that they're not all even. And I may or may not do that on camera. I think what I'm going to do now, I pulled when I was explaining this to my husband, just to go back, the idea I had was, and I didn't want it to be a purely Halloween layout. So I wanted embellishments. I wanted, when you looked at it, the big embellishments would be butterflies and florals. So I chose some butterflies and florals that would be neutral enough and not from any of the collections that are used here, that I could kind of place them around. And then I thought I might tuck a pumpkin, and I have these kind of neutral pumpkins from a set of stickers from several years back. And I have a few Doodlebug, I think they are, Doodlebug Star Jewels. Let me adjust my light again here. I have a light that's very sensitive, and every time I touch it, it changes levels. And I have these Glitz giant rhinestones in various Halloween patterns. So I thought I might work those into clusters, but the Halloween will be kind of tucked behind the pretty, and not, it won't make the major statement. So right now I'm going to go ahead and randomly kind of clip these guys without regard to where they're being clipped. Some shorter, some longer. Main thing is that I want to leave some white cardstock showing behind them, and I thought this was easier. I kind of like how that's turning out. I do want to slice that end off. Let's see what we're doing here. I left the threads hanging on the pieces that I stitched, because I kind of thought that loose thread would add some personality here. This is one of my strips that I left, the edge of the, when I cut it off, my trimmer didn't get the exact spacing, and so I ended up with some of the paper still stuck to the branding strip. Okay, so that side's done. I should have done this off camera, but what I kind of want to show you is where I may or may not choose to add mixed media to do any ink splatters. Just kind of on theirs, it kind of looks like there were some opportunities created by the lengths of the papers that kind of helped determine where the mixed media would go. And as I cut these, I'm trying to cut them with some variety, so that I truly have kind of a random look. And I thought if I did things beforehand, when I placed them on here, it would be, I'd be considering the length. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to consider color and pattern and things like that. And in the end, it probably wouldn't have mattered, because I sort of placed things on here fairly randomly anyway. I underlapped and overlapped here and there. Did the I did the adhesive in the middle so that the ends could kind of curl, and I may encourage that with some bending later. Okay, so here it is. With the ends sliced off. Looks fairly random, right? Before I get the photo on there, let's do some splatters. And I'm okay if this gets on the paper. It's obviously not meant to be particularly orderly. I should have maybe shaken that one a little more, because it does have that metallic pigment in it, and I'm having trouble with this one. And just to let you know, I'm kind of holding on. This is the last of my Heidi Shine, and as I understand it, they're not making it anymore, so it may be, I may not use as much of it as I might otherwise have, although I think we're fine here. Okay, so that's on there. Next thing I'm going to do is peel the adhesive off. The placement of the photo is going to determine and kind of what the frames cover up will determine where I embellish. For example, I noticed one of my favorite branding strips actually has a hole in it, so it's from a pad, and I don't, and there's this hole here, so I do have to cover that. And it actually accidentally also covers the hole in the branding strip. So I think that's exciting. It's something that actually worked out well. Okay, next thing I'm going to do before doing the embellishment clusters. I'm very famous for doing embellishments in places where I later would like for the title to go. So I'm going to do the title first. And I've got these letters selected. They're from various Halloween lettering or sticker kits. And I love this glittery green as that kind of lime green color as a Halloween color. And I think it's going to look great here, since the background for the strip behind the title, and by the way, I ran out of U's. I didn't have a U in this, so I turned an N upside down. Later on in the next set, in the next font, I didn't have an N, so I turned a U upside down. So what goes around comes around, right? And I didn't have an A, so I turned a D upside down and cut the tail off of it, or a B rather. Once upon, let's see, let me go back and make that O a little closer. Once upon A, and then I'll do my Halloween. Hopefully these paper stickers, they're not going to do that. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do that. I'll just stay away from that area when embellishing. Okay, so I may not use all of my florals and butterflies, but let's start with the biggest elements, which would be these butterflies. So I'm thinking that down here, that it could kind of be used to obscure that row of pumpkins, which just kind of screams Halloween, and I'm, it's a kind of a way of kind of lessening that. Let me put a green as my floral here. I'm going to use a green leaf. I'm just gonna kind of adhere it here, kind of tuck it under there. And then I'm going to select since this is gold and cream, I'll select a black based pumpkin, kind of stick it right here. Let's see, it's on foam. I may do it this way because I don't really want to cover up all the splatters that are there. So that's my idea of what I might want the cluster to look like. Here I have a piece of chipboard that I got from a Halloween kit, and I'm not finding it at the moment. I knew it the minute that I put it down, I wouldn't be able to find it if I decided to use it. So instead of that, I'm going to let this chipboard pumpkin be the base for my embellishments. I'm going to tuck it under this frame, and then I'll do the butterfly kind of hiding it a bit, and then I'll do I'm kind of tuck, maybe if I did that, that would really obscure the, let me try that. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut half of that off, let it kind of be tucking out from this behind the photo, and I'll re-glue the butterfly because I can see it kind of moving around there, and I'll re-glue it specifically to, and in fact I'll pop it up with the idea that it will obscure part of the pumpkin's face and kind of it'll join it'll join those leaves into the cluster there. Okay, I may go back and add some bling later, but that's 2 clusters down. I think I'm going to do a third one up here, and I may use a smaller, actually, I think I'll use this floral as my base here, because another butterfly with this really big one, another butterfly might just look too repetitious. And I know repetition is a thing and an objective sometimes, but in this case it's not what I'm going for. Okay, I've got that. I kind of like these little ginkgo biloba leaves and wanted to use those, but I can't see a spot. What I may do instead is tuck in this leaf cluster that I cut off the other one, kind of make it part of that cluster, and then I'll put a tiny pumpkin, a chipboard pumpkin back in the background here, underneath the flower and right over by the, okay, so that's there. I think I'm done embellishing. Let me take, well, I've got another little tiny pumpkin, and I've got these pumpkins that gold really speaks to me. I think I'm going to put this small one here, and I may actually do another one, and I'll take a bit of this, I'll kind of cut that out and try to tuck it up under there to kind of to add that purple. It repeats the purple of my polka dot that I wanted in there. Okay, that works. It's not when it's up that close, it doesn't look purple, does it? Okay, I do have this and see, here's what I mean by interfering. If I had put my title there, I probably wouldn't have put that there. So let me take that out. I really, I just kind of proved my point, didn't I? Let me put this up there. I get the same effect, but I have room for my title. Okay, here is I put one of the jewels down here. Get this on camera so you can see it. Where it says Merry Halloween kind of sticking out. It's got the black in contrast, kind of brings in that black. There's no black in that particular area. I've got this black and white rhinestone that I could put up in here. I need something to go in the area where this frame breaks and joins this frame. And that's kind of what I did with this cluster here too. So I don't mind that it appears to be broken there, or that you can tell that they're both parts of frames, but if I can find an attractive way to cover it, I will. So this is this little rhinestone with the bats kind of tucked up under the butterfly wings. That butterfly is pop dotted on. I think I've got my clusters. I'm happy with it, other than the title, and I'm going to have to carefully. I was afraid the paper stickers might stick on here, and as I pull them off, they're going to have to get re-glued. So I have some work to do there. I will also add some of these. Well, here's one I'll add right now. Is my main one that says "That just happened." I kind of want to do that there. And there's a, let's see, behind the scenes are well good. That doesn't matter. I think I saw one on here that was Say Cheese. I like the color and the sentiment there. And I thought I'd put that up close to the photo, stretching across from the photo, bridging across from the photo to the side of the frame there. Let's Go looks like it might be appropriate, and so I'll put it there. They're getting ready to go trick-or-treating. I think I saw one here. There's a Let's Get Lost, Be Alive. Not sure there's anything there. There's Not Ordinary. Laugh. That's what it was. I definitely wanted the word laugh in here somewhere. So that's again with the taking up the space of the title. I just know that I want something in that in that area, and I keep forgetting that I'd already decided to do the time. Okay, here's a there was a here's one. This is a Tim Holtz Snarky Sayings book, and this saying says, "Don't judge me," and I think that's appropriate here. Let's put it. I like it there, even though there are other words there. Just kind of put it on top of the purple polka dots. And I think I probably have another couple things that I was going to do. I will add some stars in appropriate places once it get the title on, and that's it. It's pretty close to finish. I love the colors. I love that there are lots of things on here that are pretty and from pretty collections, including the embellishments. Those are from a Jen Hadfield collection that I just picked up on sale, and lots of branding strips from Chamel and Paige Evans, and miscellaneous other pads and tablets. So it goes perfectly with what I think is the mood of that crazy photo and the mood of the crazy kids that took the crazy photo. So enjoy. Hope you enjoy Challenge Accepted this week, and hope you enjoy the fact that that I was able to do a Scrap Squad layout, pretty much, I think, true to the original, with the bit of whimsy that is included in that photograph, and the I'm kind of cueing off the whimsy that's in these photographs. So, love you all. Hope you enjoyed watching. Talk to you later. Bye.